Dan the Man fans, welcome to another Metacast video for the Pokemon TCG. We will be looking ahead at March 2025 and what will be coming up for potentially the Stockholm Regional and any locals that you will be attending this month. We are in a transition. This is the last month before rotation hits on the 28th of March. It will hit online when Journeys Together releases, and then 2 weeks later on the 11th of April, rotation hits in real life play, where we will be losing all of the Block F cards. Sword and Shield will be no more for standard play. So let's see what cards are going to be hitting the new decks this month, what things have changed, what decks have fallen from the top 10, what decks have entered the top 10 based on EUIC results, based on other regional results, and based on online play. So without further ado, guys, let's check out March's top 10 decks. Okay, in at number 10 we have Raging Bolt EX with Ogerpon. That's right, this deck is still one of the most popular decks around. It is excellent for turbo damage. If you go second and can get 3 or 4 energies on the board, you can be smacking 210 to 280 damage. You can discard any energy from the board. It doesn't have to be from Raging Bolt, it can be from Ogerpons, it can be from all sorts of Pokemon. This is running what I deem as kind of the optimum top 60 cards. You've got 4 Ogerpon, 4 Raging Bolt, you've got the Fez for draw, you've got the Squawkabilly there for discard, Radiant Greninja for discard, Slitherwind for a little bit of one prize, kind of hitting some good damage. And then you've got the Professor Sardas, obviously, to get all those energies back from the discard on the board. You've got the Boss there. You've got the Briar for, obviously, if you get your opponent to 2 prizes. Crispin for a bit more energy acceleration. And obviously all the usual trainer cards like Energy Retrieval, Night Stretcher, Switch Cart, etc. We're playing 6 Grass, 3 Lightning, and 3 Fighting. And our ace spec of choice is obviously Prime Catcher. This is a great deck. If you want to try out at your local challenge or cup, this will get you far. It didn't fare too well at EUIC and I didn't see many in the room, but it is still a fantastic deck and just makes it into our top 10 there. Right, let's see what is at number 9 then. Okay, in at number 9 we have Snorlax Stall. That's right, Snorlax Stall is a fantastic deck if you know how to play it. It can beat anything in the game and it made up a couple of places in the top 8 at EUIC. What a deck. This last month is going to be the last time you will ever see this deck in standard format. Thank the Lord. Snorlax with its block ability, I don't need to go into too much detail. It stops your Pokemon from manually retreating. Obviously you play 4, you've got a Rotom for draw, you've got the Cornerstone Ogerpon there to kind of block out any Pokemon with abilities from attacking you, and then it's all about the supporters. You don't play any energy, it's just about disrupting your opponent and then making them deck out in as fastest way that you can. You've got the Arven there to find you a tool and an item card, Penny to lift up those Snorlaxes, Secret Box is your ace spec there, which is fantastic to discard 4 cards and then search for any 4 type of trainer that you like. You've got 2 bosses there, the Eerie for obviously some hand disruption, the Glycomo there to get rid of special energy, you've got Erica's Invitation to bring one from the hand into the active. I mean, there's just so many good cards here. People still don't expect you to be playing this. If you pilot this correctly and get those annoying supporter Pokemon in the active, you are going to be laughing. Will this see a top 8 finish or a top finish at Stockholm? Who knows? It had a couple of good positions. It finished 6th and 7th at EUIC. It is a great deck and one that still takes a lot of brain power and strategy to play. So, one more month, guys, and we will not see this anymore. Anyway, let's see what's in at number 8. Okay, in at number 8 with its final swan song is Lost Zone box. I came up against this in round 7 at EUIC. I was playing Arcaladon and it ruined me. Let me tell you why. Pikachu EX. It took me 2 turns to knock it out, and therefore, thanks to that annoying heart ability it's got there, as long as it's got full HP, all attacks will take it down to 10 HP. It is so irritating. Obviously, it has quite an awkward energy cost there with a grass, a lightning, and a metal, but obviously Mirage Gate sorts that out. I came up against a very skilled Lost Zone box player, and sadly, that was when I lost my winning in round 7. I needed to win 3 in a row to get day 2, and sadly, this is what stopped me. It is still a really good solid deck. You've got the comfies, obviously, to get cards in the Lost Zone. You've got the Radiant Greninja for draw. You've got the Regigigas there in case you come up against any Stellar Pokemon. The Sableye to do some damage, dropping those 12 damage counters on. You've got Blood Moon Ursalana there, which is fantastic for kind of some late game smacking, doing 240 damage. And obviously you've got Iron Hands there as well to take some of those little 1 prizes and making them 2 prizes. This is still a good deck to play, still requires a bit of synergy there with you and your cards and deciding what resources you need and don't need, get them in the Lost Zone, but it's a fantastic deck and did see some good results at EUIC. No kind of top 16s, but still had a really good finish placing, and you will still be seeing this at the tables in the last events coming up this month. Right, let's see what's in at number 7. Okay, number 7, we have got Goldengo. Now, the top finishing Goldengo came in at number 3, and that was Xander Pero there. He played this deck flawlessly. It is fantastic. You have got obviously the Goldengo there. If it's in the active, it will be able to draw 2 cards with its coin ability there. You obviously discard energy, and you can use the Energy Search Pro to get 1 of every type of energy, and then you're doing endless amounts of damage. You could be doing up to like 350, 400 damage, which will be taking down anything in the tournament. And obviously with the announcement that Mega Pokemon EXs are coming back, this deck, I think, because it's got an endless energy cap, will see some play and will be taking down some 3 prize Pokemon later on next season. Anyway, back to this deck. You've got the Iron Bundle there for Switch, which is really good. You've got the Monkey Dory there with a Dark Energy to take damage off your board and put 3 damage counters on your opponent's board. You've got a couple of Boss there, a Professor Turo scenario there to obviously take off a damaged Pokemon. You've got obviously Superior Energy, 4 of them to get your energy back from the discard. That is super important. Night Stretcher as well. This deck just plays really nicely. It's a nice, easy deck to play. It's all about getting that energy in your hand, and then it does 50 damage for each energy you discard. So as long as you've got that energy, you can take down any Pokemon. Sometimes it kind of bricks. It's quite difficult sometimes to make sure you've got the energy or getting the item cast to get the energy back from the discard, but if you pilot this well and think about what you need to do and are very, very resourceful with your resources, you will do very well with this deck. I think this is going to see a lot more play post-rotation, so make sure you've got those Goldengos in your binder ready to go for post-rotation. Right, let's see what's in at number 6 then. Okay, in at number 6, we've got a sad fall from grace from Lugia VSTAR. What an amazing deck. Yes, my son's friend Ollie did really well to pilot this to win the juniors at EUIC. Congratulations to him. He won the amazing EUIC competition, which had 280 juniors and then 3,300 masters, and he managed to win this with Lugia VSTAR. What an incredible deck this still is. There's only 2 ways this loses. It either loses to an electric deck like Miraidon, or it loses to itself. As we know, it is brick central. There is no real draw. But anyway, it's a bog standard Lugia list. You've got your 4 Archeops there. You've got your 3 Lugia V and VSTAR. You've got your 2 Laminion there. You've got your Mincinos. I prefer playing 2 Mincinos and 2 Chinchinos. I just think they are really, really good. I kind of cut weird here from mine. The Iron Hands is brilliant, obviously, with the Ogapon there to obviously do some spread damage or take extra prizes. The Ursalana is great for the late game. It's just a really good deck, and playing 16 energy is the way to go. This deck needs those 16 energy to be able to make sure you are hitting the consistent damage. Yes, it will do very well in its final month of play. I think you will see it up there. You'll see a fair few day 2s at Stockholm, but unfortunately after rotation this deck is no more, so let's see how it does this month. Anyway, let's see what's in at number 5. Okay, in at number 5 we've got the winning deck list here from Ryuko Okada. That's right, he took down poor Natalie Miller at the EUIC Masters Finals. It was a brutal best of 3. He donked her in game 1, she came back in game 2, and then he donked her in game 3 with an incredible poison combo. Let's look at this deck then. So obviously you've got Quaff in there to do some damage, obviously with its move. Obviously it does 100 times the kind of status effects on it, but the main thing is the poison. You've got the Budew here, 2 copies of Budew. You can play so many different strategies with this. You could poison your Do, put on a binding Moki, and then obviously do 50 damage instead of 10, and then you've obviously got the Monkey Dory to take the poison damage off of the Budew, item locking your opponent. You've got how Ryuki actually played this deck was insane. To get that round 3 donk was just, or game 3 donk was just incredible. You got the Petulant there. If you get it into the active, it will put an additional 5 damage counters on. You've got the Radiant Hisuian Sneasler to put even more damage counters on your opponent. There's so many ways you can play this deck, and if you get the right cards in the right order, you can do so many things. The Precious Trolley as your ace spec is just amazing. If you have a Terrapagos down and you've got the Area 0 under depths, you can fill it with like 8 to 7 Pokemon. The Ogerpon is, the Oranguru is just brilliant, being able to search for two tool cards. So he was able to search for his Forest Hill Stone and a Binding Moki. It's just a fantastic deck. If you've got the brain power to pilot this and think about it and get the synergy correct, decide what you want to poison, what you want to attack with, whether you want to attack with Terrapagos, whether you want to attack with Budew, or even, you being able to attack with some other Pokemon, it is just a fantastic deck, and one that will see quite a bit more play this month. It's affected by rotation. Obviously you lose the Oranguru, you use the Radiant Sneasler, but there are still some really good cards that will make this deck really good, and I think it will see quite a lot of more success post-rotation. Anyway guys, let's move along to see what is in at number 4. Okay guys, in at number 4 is Miraidon. Yes, a lot of people were putting this in their top 3. Unfortunately, Miraidon didn't see the success it was meant to, or it was really hyped up. Obviously, this is Azul GG's winning list from Merida. This was, I think, 1 or 2 weeks before EUIC, and it's brilliant. It is the turbo deck of choice. You've got the 2 Miraidon there with its tandem unit ability to obviously put down 2 electric Pokemon. Another one will be a Miraidon, meaning you can obviously use its ability again. You've got 2 Iron Hands, you've got the Magnemite and Magneton to explode, give up a prize, and then put 3 electric energy on any Pokemon. Busted. Ryoku is there for a quick kind of maybe taking down a small 2 or 1 prizer in the early game. Raichu V there, discarding multiple electric energies, doing 60 times. Pikachu EX is not there for attacking, it's there for Area 0 Underdepths as your stellar Pokemon. Rotom for draw, and then obviously the rest are just supporter Pokemon. Then you've got fantastic cards like Electromagnetic Radar there to get obviously energy off the top 5. You're playing 16 energy in 1 double turbo. You've got your secret box there to obviously get 4 trainer cards you need. This is a turbo deck. If you play this right and play this quick, you will do well. But like I said, unfortunately, looking at the top 16, there are no Miraidon from EUIC. So there you go. It did alright. It's still a brilliant deck, but just didn't do as well as it could have done. What do you think is in, guys, at number 3? Here we go. Let's see. Right, number 3, yes, maybe slightly controversial, but we have got Gardevoir EX. Now, there was no Gardevoir EX in the top 8 at EUIC. Sebastian Lachmet was obviously the person who came in the highest with this deck at number 18. It's a fantastic deck, but it's just not as good as people make out. It requires a very, very skilled trainer to be able to pilot this deck. Unfortunately, my mate who came with me did not do very well with this deck. He's had a real couple of bad weeks playing this. He's just not, I don't know whether it's bricked or whether the deck just hasn't worked, but it can sometimes brick. Believe it or not, you've got good draw power from the curlies, but sometimes you just don't get the right cards in the right order. But if you do, oh boy, you get going. Obviously, the backbone of this deck is Gardevoir EX, being able to get energy from the discard and then put damage on yourself, and then using Monkey Dory to take three damage counters off of itself and get them onto your opponent's Pokemon is fantastic. You can take down Budews, you can take down Charmanders, all sorts of things. The Marwile is also great to lock in a Pokemon that you can't retreat and then hitting it with maybe the next Pokemon doing 90 more damage. Screamtail is there obviously to do some damage on the bench. You've got Klefki to turn off any abilities to basic Pokemon, and the Spiritomb is there to switch off those basic Pokemon V abilities like Luminion and like Rotom. The obviously trainers of choice are things like the Unfair Stamp as your ace spec is brilliant for hand disruption. The Heavy Ball is useful to get something from the prizes. Technical Machine, 3 of them, is really good to get those Curliers evolved into Gardevoir as soon as possible. And then obviously you've got a 10 energy line there with 7 Psychic and 3 Dark for your Monkey Dories. It's just about sequencing and synchronizing. Getting the synergy on this deck is so important. Unfortunately, just people were saying this was a S tier deck, the BDIF, but it just wasn't. 18th, it didn't even make top 16. What are your thoughts? It's hurt quite a lot by rotation. We lose the Curliers there, we obviously lose the Cresselia, we lose the Marwile. It loses a fair amount of cards. Will it still see play post rotation? I think it will. It definitely will still see some play, but not as much as it has done. Okay then, in at number 2, yes, it's going to be slightly controversial, but here we go. My number 2 pick is Arcaladon. That's right, this is a very underrated and incredible deck. Not only is it budget friendly, but there are different ways you can play it. Now, I played this at EUIC, but I played it without Dialga V, and it did me okay. Maybe I should have put Dialga V and V-Star in and used its Star Chronos V-Star ability to obviously get me an additional turn. But this is the number 3, this came in at number 4. This was Simone Florinto. There, he piloted this to number 4 at EUIC, and it is a fantastic deck. You've got the 4 Duraludon, you've got the 4 Arcaladon there, and what a beast Arcaladon is. It's got that incredible ability there that obviously when you put it down, you can accelerate 2 metal energy from the discard onto itself. You then attack for 220 damage, which is good, takes out most basic Vs and obviously EXs, and then it removes its fire weakness, which is just fantastic if there was a lot of fire decks running around. Then obviously you've got the Origin Form Dialga V-Star, and if you get 5 energy onto it, then obviously you can take 2 attack for 220 damage and then smash another turn, technically taking 4 prizes, what felt like 1 turn. You've got the usual supporter Pokemon there to help you get either energy in the discard or to help you draw. The Relicath there is brilliant to obviously get the move from Duraludon there to do 80 plus any 10 damage for each damage counter on you, which is brilliant for Arcaladon, meaning you can actually hit a whopping, if you have 290 damage on Arcaladon, you can hit an additional 80, which is 370 damage. 3 research there, 3 Iono for hand disruption. Obviously the Super Scoop Up Cyclone is your ace spec of choice to take up any damaged Arcaladons there. Get the energy in the discard, slap it down on another Duraludon, recharge it, off you go. Busted. Professor Turo is also really good there as well to do exactly the same thing. This deck is underrated, it's fairly cheap to buy as well, which is great. It is a fantastic deck and one that I highly recommend you look at playing, and look at that, it only really loses Origin Form Adalga and Radiant Greninja from rotation. You are going to be seeing a lot more of this deck next season, so guys, get the cards while they're cheap and have fun with this deck. Number 1's pretty obvious. Here we go, guys. In at number 1, we have Dragapult EX. On your screens right now is Natalie Miller's second place EUIC deck. It is fantastic. We've got 4 Dreepy, 4 Dracalope there. Obviously for draw, fantastic. Using that move there, Recon Directive, to obviously look at the top 2 cards, choose one, put one on the bottom. Dragapult is your main attacker, obviously with that Phantom Dive, 200 damage and then 6 damage counters. It's brilliant. You then got your Dust Skulls, your Dusclops and your Dust Noirs to blow up anything and obviously put damage on things and even take 2 or 3 prizes. You've got a Budew there, which is brilliant to slow people down with their item cards. Notice that there's no technical machine evolution because you're using the Budews there to slow your opponent down. Then in your second turn, you'll use Lance to get the Dracalopes down and start evolving that way and slow your opponent down. This is a fantastic deck, and I really felt for Natalie, especially in that 3rd game. I mean, she's going second. She's put the Dreepy out. She thinks she's going to be alright, and then 80 poison damage being slammed on the Dreepy for the donk. What an absolute upset, but still she did incredibly well. She got a Worlds invite. She's obviously going to Worlds. She got loads of prizes from coming second, so congratulations to her. However, let's look at another way you can play Dragapult. Let's look at the number 5 deck list from Vinicius Fernandez there. He came 5th, and this is his winning deck list. Now it's slightly different. You notice that there's no Dust Noirs or Dust to there to blow yourself up. You've got 2 copies of Budew, and you're playing, obviously, Blood Moon Ursulana there to smack some late game damage. I like this, and you're also playing Monkey Dory to obviously take any damage off yourself and put it onto your opponent. This could be really good if you put some spread damage down and you just need 1 or 2 more damage counters to knock something out before attacking. Monkey Dory is fantastic. You've also got Klefki in there to slow your opponent down with lack of abilities as well. This is a solid deck list. The Crispin, I have to say, is really good in this deck. I use Crispin quite a lot. Again, look at the stadiums as well. He's got a cheeky Lost City in there to get any Pokemon that you don't want brought back by Night Stretch or anything like that. They all go to the Lost Zone. What an absolutely busted deck. Whatever deck list you decide to play, Dragapult is going to be the Pokemon of choice. It is by far the BDIF. It won the seniors at EUIC, and it also came second in the Masters, and it came second in the juniors. So you can see that this deck is just a solid choice for this month, and it loses a few cards due to rotation. Obviously, it uses that Radiant Alakazam, which is super important. It loses Luminion, but there are plenty, and obviously Lance as well is quite important, but it is still a fantastic deck and one that's going to be seeing a lot of play for the next few months right up to Worlds. Okay guys, that's my top 10 for March 2025. Let's review. So guys, do you agree with my top 10? Let me know in the comments what you think. I definitely think that obviously Dragapult is number 1, and then I obviously think that at number 2, Arcaladon and Duraludon are definitely the second choice. I just think Gardevoir EX just isn't as good as people are making it out. Anyway, let me know. What do you think, guys? Let me know in the comments what decks you will be playing this month. Are you going to Stockholm? Are you going to any locals? Let me know what you're going to be doing. Guys, as always, please like my videos, subscribe. It means so much to me. I'm nearly at 3,100 subscribers. Thank you so much. I'll be bringing you one of these every month with a meta update. Obviously, April's is going to be huge because rotation is finally here. You've obviously noticed that Lugia VSTAR and Charizard EX are not on this list. They've both fallen off thanks to one little 30 HP Pokemon, and that is Budew. That's right, guys. Still beware of that Budew card. Let me know again, obviously, what you think. Do you think Charizard and Regidrago should have been included? Let me know in the comments. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching my video, and I hope to hear from you and see you all again real soon. Guys, take care and all the best.